So over the weekend, this Saturday, the reason why I'm showing this map because my buddy Ichiro and I was on a kayak over at Timber Cove, going for rockfish and lingcod, and all of a sudden we're so busy concentrating on catching a fish, and we didn't notice that we've been taken by a heavy current. We've been basically been pulled away from our original location, but we end up at Stillwater Cove. And here's the problem: we don't have no GPS. Ichiro's Garmin doesn't have a waypoint. Plus, well, it doesn't have a waypoint, so no GPS, no waypoint. We don't know where we're at. On top of that, Ichiro's cell phone is dead. So, and before I realized that I had to pull up my phone to see if I have a signal, we've been basically over Stillwater, just circling around, looking for structures to identify exactly where we at. And all of a sudden, a thick cloud, it covers the whole mountain. We don't know where we at, so we can't even identify the location.
We gotta catch up with this,
So
guys.
this is us. Ichiro and I over here. We're trying to
Where the
basically
fuck are they?
get back
That's
to
not them, bro.
Timber Cove. As you can see, the thick cloud there. We really don't have the visibility where we
Well,
at.
let's just.
So at this
We've been
point,
catching it over here a while ago,
I'm
anyway.
only relying on the map
Yeah.
on my phone.
All
I
right.
have one bar. At least when I pull up my map,
All right.
it gives us information where we at so far and where's Timber Cove is
That's,
located at. But can you imagine though,
Can you see over there?
if my phone doesn't have a signal, we
Big
basically
blue
gonna be
sea
just
day,
right
baby.
here, circling around. And the window of opportunity to get back, because
We were
the
just
weather
on this
conditions
rock,
can
and you
change
know.
all the time.
Oh, we got
Around
freaking
noontime,
drift.
that's the wind. What we can do here is just keep pedaling, we're pedaling for miles and miles.
Hella
Until I was looking at my phone here at this point to kind of find out, looking for structures to see where Timber Cove is. I know there's going to be two rocks with identification to know where we at. So we're just huffing and puffing here at this point, trying to get to our destination. Fortunately, we got back and we were so relief. It was really, a great feeling to be back where we are at this point. Yeah, so that was really an intense situation where you wouldn't even know what's going to happen. It's like a life and death situation. Should we just abandon the kayak, just find like a place where we can just kind of abandon it, or we're just going to keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. We know for the fact that the weather condition it's going to be okay, but we just don't know. There's always going to be some changes at any time, especially where you're in the ocean, right? So we use this that window of opportunity to just paddle and paddle and paddle. We're looking for structures. We're following the map, and every time that we see like this rock that we think that it's the identification of Timber Cove, we passed it. It's not even it. So we're just like we're now at this point that we're not even sure if the map that's showing on my phone is actually true or not. But we didn't give up. Instead of like going back and try the other way around, going back to Stillwater, but we don't know it's Stillwater. Instead of thinking about going back there, we just said, you know what? My map says that it's toward this direction where we're going right now. So we just have to keep on going. And then a few more rocks that we know, the identification that it's Timber Cove that we passed. we've seen this kind of like a monument, like a tower, like a big tower, that we know that this is Timber Cove, and we've seen like these two rocks. So we kind of have an idea that was it. So finally, as we're kind of getting closer and closer, we're getting tired. We're like paddling for about an hour. Forget about fishing at this point. We just want to make sure that we can get back home. We can get back to our spot. So we've been paddling for an hour. And in this silhouette, we've seen Angel. He has AI too. AI is like a hobby with two outrigger. It's pretty much kind of like the yacht that you can use like to travel on its own as long as there's an air. So we've seen this one. It's kind of like reddish, and then we've seen another kayak. So we kind of have an idea that these are our people. And soon enough, a few more minutes of kayaking, we kind of like getting closer and closer, and then we start seeing the colors on their kayak, and we have an idea that this is them. So as soon as we are kind of get closer to them, that's when we seen all the camps of the people that was by the beach. We've seen all the people that was camping upstairs at Timber Cove Resort, and that was a relief, man. But lesson learned. You know, you have to always watch where you're at when you're fishing. Just don't concentrate and looking down and always like thinking about catching a fish, because you can get drift away so quick with the current, and you didn't even know that you already been drift away for miles and miles and miles, and the last thing you know, you don't even know where you're at any longer, and now you're gonna have to go pedal back, and you don't even know how far we pedal back to get back to your original location. So Ichiro and I, we thought about this experience, and we decided that next trip, we, he's going to put a kicker motor or an outboard motor to his AI. So in case of a situation like that, and we're trying to chase time before the weather condition will change, and we're gonna get stuck somewhere, and we don't even know where we're at least we have some ammunition to use to kind of get us to the location where we're at. Number two, we need to coordinate with the pairs of people we kayak with to make sure that before we launch, that we are all on the same channel, and do not switch to a different channel while you're in the water, and that's gonna screw things up. Because at that moment, we're in a panic mode, and we're getting exhausted, pedaling and pedaling and pedaling. I think both of us like lost a lot of calories on that trip, just that alone. So yeah, it was a really kind of like bad experience. It's also a good experience to say as well, because with this situation, lucky to be alive, lucky to get back to where we at. But it's a lesson to learn. We don't know the weather condition in the ocean. Things can change, even though there's a weather forecast, and we're just lucky that we made it there alive. And the condition of the weather didn't change on us, or else we could get stuck. Either we get tired, we're exhausted, we get swept away for miles and miles, and we cannot get recovered back, or we're gonna end up like abandoning the kayak somewhere, and we're just gonna walk and call someone, even though there's like a really bad signal around Jenner, if you guys know. But those are the options that we have. So yeah, I just want to share with everybody. We did, although get a limit on rockfish and lingcod, but this is a good experience to share with everybody. Peace out.